In this video, we're going to talk about the game Dark Devotion, what looked interesting to me when I first saw it, so I tried it out, but now you're thinking, what the hell is Dark Devotion? So it's a game released on Steam, what will release later for PS4 and Nintendo Switch. The game doesn't do anything original, it is a roguelike, Souls-like Metroidvania game. Although it doesn't do anything new, I generally want to say I enjoyed playing it, and here I'm going to tell you why. Before I start here, there are going to be spoilers of the game, so if you want to play it blindly, don't watch this video, but I did my best to keep it to minor spoilers. The build-up of the game is very simple. You're trained to be a Templar, what is stated that it is both a blessing and a curse through sacrifice to praise your god. And here, you will venture into the fallen temple to prove the god's judgment. So basically, go through the dungeon, get to the end, and destroy everything in your path for your god. The gameplay is easy to understand if you're familiar with Metroidvania games like this. It goes as follows: you start at the hub area. Here you can unlock passive blessings with the points you get from defeating enemies. The blacksmith serves as a start arsenal of equipment where you can select from the blueprints you found in the dungeons. A quest log: here you can complete missions to unlock items for the blacksmith. A library where you can reread the lore you found in the dungeons. And the main entrances of every dungeon come available here once you unlock them. For the game mechanics, they're very simple. For the stats, you have shield points, health points. These will decide how much damage you can take before dying. Critical damage percentage, stun critical damage percentage, and miss percentage. This will decide your hits will actually hit the target to do damage or not, and stamina regen. You have two sets of equipment you can use for different weapon loadouts. These weapons will deal crit damage or stun crit damage. If you don't know what stun crit means, it will stun them. The armor slots in the game give you shield points to take more damage and also give passive bonus stats or negative stats. For the idols, they give health points and also passive bonus stats or negative stats. And you can hold up to 4 different types of consumables. You can find tablets throughout the game. These will give you permanent bonus stats for stamina, damage, faith, and critical percentage. Through the game, you will get blessings serving as bonus stats or get curses. These will serve as negative stats. This is an interesting game mechanic, making your playthroughs more intense, and you have to be careful for the curses, so be sure to cleanse them with items or pray at altars. Talking about altars, using your faith to pray at them will give you rewards at a specific altar, so you can find rune altars. These will give you runes that give bonuses to your weapons. Blessing altars, praying at them will give a blessing. Some altars give you items, and there is of course the healing altars for health and curses. The dungeon layouts are fixed, so it's easier to find your way here, and you can use the map to find other rooms much easier. But this will make the game a little boring after a while because you will enter the same rooms over and over again. If you die in the dungeons, everything you carried is gone and you return to the start, but this makes the blacksmith handy with their start equipment, so it's not all lost. There are also teleports you can activate in the dungeons, so you can return to the one you last activated before you died. One thing I didn't really like is that if you are in the dungeon and you want to quit the game or you have to go do something in real life, leaving the game mid-dungeon won't save your progress, so you will start at the beginning again, so it can be annoying if you had good gear, so all of that is lost. What I found really interesting about the game was the feeling in each dungeon level, taking it slow and taking in the level design with the music. It felt like venturing into a deep place full of pain and hurt, what made each level tell you a story how dreadful the temple is. Finding the multiple NPCs and notes throughout the game will tell you stories about the temple, how corrupted it is, and the mysterious secret it holds. This makes the temple an even darker place, and you can make your own stories about the lore of this game. For the level design, although it is pixelated, it looks nice, especially the boss rooms, and some lost rooms look amazing. But some of the regular rooms look a bit the same, but hey, that is expected from a roguelike game. In the rooms, there are hidden pathways blocked by doors what can only be opened with a lever, or a wall what can be broken down with explosion consumables, or just use a two-handed mace to break them. The bosses in this game are really good, the design and the rooms make a great fit what makes every fight a good experience. Because the game is focused on dodging and learning the boss's attack patterns, this makes the fights even more intense for a great sense of accomplishment after you have defeated them. And I want to tell you, some bosses are really cool. I promise you, they won't disappoint you. For the regular enemies, they fit each dungeon design, but there's not much variety of the enemies in a specific dungeon, so you will be fighting the same enemies in each room, so it gets a little boring after a while facing the same enemies over and over again. The elite enemies are just bigger versions of the regular enemies. They're basically the same, only are bigger, and they take more damage, but they don't really increase the challenge for beating them. To sum up the game, you will understand it after you die like 5 times. The most overpowered weapons in the game are two-handed weapons with crit damage. They have the highest damage, and with their range you can pretty much hit enemies before they can hit you. But for some bosses, it is better to have a one-handed weapon because they're much faster, what will make hitting them easier while you have to get ready to dodge their attacks. Blocking is not really needed in this game. Dodging is the best thing to avoid attacks, but there is one thing: if your stamina is low, you must wait for it to get back up, because when you have no stamina, you can't do anything in this game, leaving you very open. After finding a lot of tablets in the game, this will make you kind of too overpowered, because when you have all tablets, you do so much damage to enemies and bosses that you will one-shot them, leaving the game a little too easy to complete. The blueprints you acquire from the boss weapons after you have beaten them are really overpowered, so you should equip them at the blacksmith every time you start a new run. Stacking up on health consumables makes the game extremely easier, and the other consumables aren't really that useful, to be honest. It is better to focus on health consumables. Like I said before, the two-handed weapons with crit damage are the best to go, and put a rune in it with increased crit percentage or increased damage, so if you hit an enemy a couple of times, the rune will activate for its bonus effects. This will let you deal even more damage to enemies, making the game a lot easier. The dungeon designs are good. At the start, they're a little basic, like the classic sewers, prison cells dungeons, but getting more to the end, they will become better, especially the last one. Entering the start of the castle really gave me chills and excitement to venture forth. There are some glitches I found in the game that if you take down the bookkeeper on his little step up, he will be stuck there, so you have to leave the game, and this will let you lose progress of your run, so it is pretty annoying. Also, I found items glitching through the ground, so you can't pick them up. But those are the only glitches I found in the game so far, so it's not that bad. What I found annoying in the game was picking up items where you have to crouch. This is fine, really, but the annoying thing was for me, when there are multiple items on the same place, you can't really see what is laying over there. Picking items up when there are a lot of items on it, it is really a mess, so I didn't like that. Also, what I found a negative point is that you can't make more save slots to start the game from the beginning again. And what I said before, leaving the game mid-dungeon won't save your progress. The development of the game is done by the Hibernian Workshop via Kickstarter and is published by the Arcade Crew. This project started back on September 11, 2017 and is now released on Steam on April 25, 2019 for $20. What I think is a reasonable price for this game. And also, it will be released for PS4 and Nintendo Switch later, so no release for Xbox, I guess. What I understand from the Kickstarter page, you can no longer pledge to them. What I can understand, because you can already buy the game. And also in the schedule they placed on Kickstarter that there will be adding more content maybe, with a fourth world and a side story. In general, I want to say I enjoyed playing the game, but if you have done everything, explored all the rooms, beaten all the bosses, and completed the game, you're pretty much done with it. And maybe revisit the game solving some side stories of NPCs or when they add new content. But this game was an enjoyable experience for me, and I would like to get back to it after they maybe added new stuff. But that wraps up this review for Dark Devotion. If you have played the game as well, or are you going to try it out, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are about the game. And if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you want more related content like this one, then you can subscribe to the channel for more and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. But thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I see you in the next one.